Some guns suck, that's nothing new. But then there are guns so cheap, so buggy, and so flat out dangerous they should be banned in 2025. Because buying one of these isn't self-defense, it's self-sabotage, like strapping a firecracker to your belt and calling it protection. And here's the part that blows my mind. People still buy them. Why? Because they're cheap. Because some idiot at the counter swears it's just as good as a Glock. But these aren't guns. They're roaches with triggers. They crawl into pawn shops, trick new shooters into wasting money, and when it's time to actually work, they fail. Not just a jam here and there. I'm talking cracked frames, broken safeties, slides flying off like cheap toys. The kind of failure that gets you killed. So today, we're going through the cheap threats, the buggy roaches, the so-called pistols idiots keep alive. And trust me, the last one, it's so bad it makes even high points look classy. The Jimenez JA9 is the only pistol I've seen scare an entire firing line, and I'm not even kidding. First time I saw one was at the range. Some guy unboxes it, proud as hell, because he paid $150 for a 9mm with real stopping power. Everyone rolled their eyes, but we let him shoot. First mag, the gun rattled like a spray paint can. By the third mag, the safety lever literally popped loose. On mag 4, the slide cracked and came halfway off the frame while it was still in his hands. People ducked it like it was a life grenade. And here's the best part. He swore it was a fluke. Mine runs fine, he said. Yeah, sure, buddy. If you call 4 mags fine, that is. And that's the Jimenez for you. Not a handgun, a booby trap. A shiny pawn shop roach that should have been banned years ago. Because if a gun can't make it through one range trip without endangering everyone in the room, it doesn't belong in 2025. The Cobra FS30 might be the most insulting pistol I've ever held. And trust me, I've held some garbage. My buddy actually bought one at a pawn shop because, and I quote, "it looked cool and it was cheap." We all laughed, figured we'd get a free comedy show at the range, and oh boy did we ever. First shot, it fired. Second shot, jam. Third shot, double feed. By the end of the box, we spent more time clearing malfunctions than actually shooting. The gun was so bad, we started taking bets on what would break next. The extractor, the slide, the trigger spring, and sure enough, halfway through, the safety stopped engaging. At that point, he even admitted it wasn't a pistol, it was a paperweight with a trigger. The Cobra FS30 is the definition of a buggy roach. Shiny enough to trick idiots, fragile enough to betray them the second they trust it. This isn't self-defense, it's self-sabotage. And the fact that it's still sold in 2025, that's the real crime. This one's gonna ruffle some feathers, but it needs to be said. The Sig Sauer P320 is one of the most talked about pistols of the past decade. Military contract? Check. Modular design? Check. Accuracy, reliability, clean trigger? All there. On paper, it certainly looks like a winner, but real-world feedback? Not so much. The drop fire controversy still haunts to this day. Accidental discharge lawsuits, departments pulling them from duty. And while Sig fixed most of it, that lingering doubt never fully went away. People either love this gun or just refuse to touch it. And that's exactly the problem. We're talking about a carry pistol here, not a gaming console. You need absolute trust, not mixed opinions and headlines. Add to that the bulky frame, high bore axis, and some questionable aftermarket compatibility, and suddenly, it's not so perfect for everyone. Now don't get it twisted, this isn't a trash pistol by any means. Far from it, actually. The P320 shoots great, feels solid, and for many, it runs flawlessly. But when you're caring for defense, for many isn't good enough. What you want is for all. So, is the P320 a Glock killer or a safety gamble? So, is the P320 a Glock killer or a safety gamble? Well, that's up to you to decide. But if you're still buying it in 2025 without knowing the full story, that's a mistake you can't get to undo. If this list had a clown car, the SCCY CPX-2 would be driving it. This gun is the definition of cheap trying to look tough. It's the kind of pistol you buy when you've done zero research and walked into a gun shop saying, "Give me whatever's under $250. And what do you get? A plastic-feeling, rattling, janky mess with a trigger so long you might grow a beard before it breaks. Seriously, that trigger pull feels like you're launching a missile, not firing a 9mm. It's not just bad, it's comically bad. People defend it by saying it works. No, it just sometimes works, but other times, you're clearing jams, praying your round fires, and wondering why your grip feels like holding a melted Lego brick. And let's not forget the looks. Flashy colors, weird textures, and a design that says, "I was designed in MS Paint by someone who's never held a gun." This is not a carry gun. This is a regret waiting to happen. It's not durable, not accurate, not consistent, and yet people still keep buying it like it's a bargain. Newsflash, everyone, just because it's cheap doesn't mean it's smart. You want a real budget gun? Go elsewhere. The SCCY CPX-2 is the punchline of the concealed carry world. This next one, a complete flop. And the fact that a big name brand was behind it makes it even worse. The Remington RP9 was supposed to be Remington's bold entry into the striker-fired pistol world. Instead, it became one of the biggest faceplants in modern handgun history. Big, clunky, awkward grip, and a trigger that feels like it was designed by a committee that's never even shot a gun. Nothing about the RP9 feels refined. Not the ergonomics, not the action, not even the branding. But let me be honest, I'm a die-hard fan of their rifles, absolute legends. But this handgun, it damages the brand's reputation and yours too if you're carrying one. And the size? Massive. For a gun that holds just 15+1, it feels like you're holding a full-size brick. It's hard to conceal, uncomfortable to carry, and just weirdly balanced. And somehow, they still messed up the reliability. Slide bite, feed issues, weak ejection, you name it, the RP9 had it. And let's not discard the timing. Remington was already crashing as a brand when this came out. The RP9 didn't save them, it just helped bury them. Even today, you'll find it sitting in pawn shops or dusty shelves with a price tag that only looks tempting, but don't fall for it. It's a dead platform with no aftermarket support, no upgrades, and certainly no future. So, after hearing all of this, would you really go for it? Trick question, don't be fooled, okay? You'd be better off spending that money on ammo for a gun that actually works. Today, I was watching a video where someone called a Hi-Point C9 a Glock killer. Like, seriously? Where do you people even get this information from? If we're talking about bad handguns, there's no skipping this one. The Hi-Point C9 is the gun that just refuses to die, and I don't mean that in a good way. It's bulky, heavy, ugly, and somehow still manages to jam like it's part of its design. People defend it by simply saying it works. Yeah, but so does a rock, and you can throw that too. Sure, it's cheap, but that's the whole appeal. You can get one for the price of a fancy dinner, but what do you really expect when you buy a gun that costs less than your average box of ammo? So don't be cheap-minded, folks. The trigger feels like you're pulling a brick through mud. The slide feels like it was made from leftover car parts, and the blowback design? That's why it kicks like a sledgehammer in a 9mm body. But here's the crazy part. People still buy it, still recommend it, still act like it's some kind of hidden gem for budget defense. Let me tell you, It's not. Sure, it's fine for someone who just needs something, and if you're tight on budget, sure, you can go for it. It's not the worst in the world, but would I recommend it for self-defense? Absolutely not, because you'd be gambling with the worst odds possible. The budget king is slipping, and people don't see it. Yeah, it's sold like crazy, mostly because people thought they were getting a budget Glock alternative, but the reality? It's not even close. The Taurus G3C had its moment in the sun. It was cheap, compact, and packed with features that looked great for the price, but in 2025, that charm is wearing off fast. The rumors, the feedback, and even many of our subscribers keep complaining about the G3C and other Taurus handguns, but for whatever reason, the company never listens. Then there's the reliability. Some owners run thousands of rounds without a hiccup. Others, however, constant feed issues, light primer strikes, and slide failures. You never know which one you're gonna get until it's too late. You never know which one you're gonna get until it's too late. And let's not forget the finish. It wears faster than a dollar store flashlight. You carry it daily, and it starts looking like it's been through war in a month. People still defend it by saying it's good for the price, but when it comes to your life, good for the price isn't good enough. If you're a Taurus user, drop your honest experience in the comments down below. And if you've watched till now, can I get a like for this effort? Your one like motivates me to keep making more videos just like this. I promise, no more wasted uploads. Okay, back to our video. Taurus has improved, you have to say that, but ask yourself, would you trust your life to a coin toss? That's the G3C gamble. I'm just saying, don't leave your safety to chance. Disasters come with a warning, but threats don't. You can save your life by carrying something like the Walther PPQ, but not this. The PPQ looks better on paper, but it still doesn't make the cut in 2025. This is a gun with a legendary trigger loved by many, and yet a pistol that's lost its place in today's lineup. Some say the PPQ was born from the PPQ, then why are you still buying the PPQ even though it's discontinued? Just because it's cheap or something else? Buy it as a memento for your showcase, maybe someday it becomes a rare one, but buying it for protection or self-defense? Definitely not. Paying new gun prices for discontinued support? That's how you get burned. The trigger's still great, no argument there, but holster options are limited, magazines are overpriced and hard to find. In a world of red dots and custom builds, the PPQ is falling behind fast. If you already own it, cool, enjoy it in your showcase, but buying a PPQ M2 today for self-defense? That's like buying a smartphone from 5 years ago at a brand new price. Don't make the mistake an idiot does. Now this one is the complete opposite of overrated nostalgia. The Kel-Tec PF9 is pure regret for anyone who's ever actually fired one. Even the brand stopped marketing it. Buyers keep falling for small guns for concealed carry, but I'm telling you guys, the truth was never really spoken. Even some states in the US banned using this gun. It's thin, lightweight, and super easy to carry, which is why people still grab it. But once you pull that trigger, it kicks like a mule in a bad mood. Who wants to carry this? The grip cuts into your palm, the trigger feels like concrete, and the whole gun fights you every step of the way. In other words, it's cheap gun quality, and no, it's not reliable. Feed issues, stovepipes, failure to extract, you name it. Hollow points? Forget it. You're not carrying protection, you're carrying a gamble. I'll never tell you to risk your life. They're better for rifles and other guns. This pistol was one of the flops in the gun industry. Still, some people carry the PF9 like it's some kind of budget legend, but it isn't. It's outdated, uncomfortable, and borderline dangerous. Well, more than likely, if it's the only thing you have, fine. But when you have a little more purchasing power, you should never rely on this gun. After the oversized flex of the Desert Eagle, we're dropping into something that looks practical, but really isn't. But before I go any further, if you're a new buyer, just skip this one and jump to gum number 7. This segment isn't for you. The Glock 26, a subcompact 9mm that somehow still gets treated like a go-to carry gun in 2025. Now don't get me wrong, it is a good gun, but it's thick, chunky, and holds just 10 rounds in a grip that barely fits most hands. If you want real concealment, the 43X or even the 19X makes way more sense. For beginners, maybe it's passable, but for pros, the 26 rides like a brick and shoots like a compromise. The recoil's snappy, the grip feels awkward, and the short sight radius makes accurate shooting harder than it should be. You deserve better. People still buy the Glock 26 out of nostalgia, or worse, because some guy on a forum called it the baby Glock. But you're not a baby, are you? If the DB9 was too small to trust, this one swings to the opposite extreme. Massive frame, monster recoil, and chambered in 50 AE, the Desert Eagle turns heads at the range and lives rent-free in every action movie. Loaded, it weighs over 4 pounds. Try holstering that under a hoodie. Every step feels like dragging a dumbbell, and when you shoot it, the recoil launches the slide like a slow-moving train. Follow-up shots? Forget about it. You'll get one shot, and that too maybe. Ammo isn't just expensive, it's hard to find even. And good luck keeping this thing running clean in real-world conditions. It was never built for practical use, but honestly, it's still a good-looking pistol, just not for real-life use. Yet every year, someone buys a Desert Eagle thinking it's a carry gun. Sorry to tell you, it's not. It's just a meme with a trigger. Definitely an idiot move to bet your life on a pistol like this. And yet, somehow, every year, somebody does. Trusting a Desert Eagle for defense? That's not brave. That's blind. No way. The Diamondback DB9 looks perfect at first glance. It's small, lightweight, and disappears in your pocket. And that's exactly why so many people still fall for it. But once you pull that trigger, reality kicks in. The recoil is so snappy that it feels like the gun's trying to jump out of your hand. It's uncomfortable, it slows your follow-up, and it kills your confidence. Now let's talk about reliability, or the lack thereof. The DB9 chokes constantly, failures to feed, ejection issues, and it gets even worse with hollow points. Some users report jams in every mag, yet people still buy it in 2025 thinking it's a smart budget option, but what they're actually getting is a tiny pistol that just looks the part but won't play it when it matters most. Look, I'll say it again, these aren't guns. They're cheap threats. They're buggy roaches crawling around the gun world, and the fact that they're still being sold in 2025 is insane. Because the idiots still buying them, they're not just wasting money, they're gambling with their lives. And if that sounds harsh, good, it should. So here's your choice. You can keep defending these roach pistols in the comments, or you can admit the truth. They should have been banned years ago. I'm Steve, and I'm done talking about roaches.